Ninja Brian, I think I figured out why our quest to be the world's most intense metal band hasn't panned out yet. It's because people think we're soft. We have to write a truly satanic jam. Are you ready to get evil? Yes, this is perfect! From the darkest pits of the deepest well, we're Ninja Sex Party, you come from hell. You curse as the name passes your lips. We're the two horsemen of the apocalypse, flying on the backs of flaming horses. We'll ride into your town and leave nothing but corpses. I'll kill your dad and scream obscenity. The streets will flow with the blood of our enemies. Death and destruction are all around. We're motherfucking evil and we'll never slow down. We are the nightmares you should be afraid of. There is just one thing we love, and that's cookies! Cookies! Yay! Cookies! Pass the milk, please. Everybody loves cookies, hooray! Ah! Oh God, save me! I see demons! All your nightmares have come to life. The heart survives in the darkest of night. Take a final breath in our realm of hate and wish for death as we eat this plate of cookies! They're the taste of happy. Cookies! Chocolate chips for everyone. Cookies! The demons are consuming me! Everybody eat some cookies today! That fucking do anything for you? Megadeth?
Hello everyone and welcome to the stream, to the Dark Live podcast, our 22nd installment.
How about that?
How about that? 22. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22 for the next couple months until I'm 23.
Nuts.
Nice. I was making that joke, and I'm like, wait, am I actually still 22? I'm like,
To be honest, I count these days, so I feel you there.
I'm only in my early 20s, and I already am losing track of my age. What's my age again?
Honestly, it's when you stop celebrating, it just happens.
Yeah. So how have you been, Liv?
I've been doing great. I just been losing myself in freaking Persona 4. Oh God. I could count on one hand to where my stream actually went double digits in terms of hours. And I did not only one, but I did back to back like 12 plus hour streams. And that is just insane. I just been losing myself in it. It's just awesome. I've been doing a lot of grinding. I feel like I'm overpowered right now. I have like one of the best attacks in the game, and it's just now I just need to play the story, is what it feels like at the moment, and I just been having so much fun with it. It's insane. And then of course I actually kind of forgot that I did it, but I also did do the No Pixel dating sim recently.
That was
I know you were there for that.
Yep.
It was it was funny. It was definitely something for sure.
I'm so happy you enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I think I still stand by what I was saying. I think I said it on the stream is if you're into graphic novels, you might find some enjoyment out of it, but if you're like new to graphic novels, I don't think this one's going to be like impressive.
You mean visual novels?
But yeah, visual. Thank you. Yeah, and it was in the end it was just a bunch of fun. I really enjoyed myself. So
Yeah. Also, I'm thinking about it. Shit, I forgot what I wanted to do for the Artist of the Week. I wanted to do why am I blanking on the name? Helltaker. The Helltaker soundtrack. I totally forgot I wanted to do that.
Oh yeah, I actually heard that was really good, so I'm kind of tempted to give it a shot on one of my off days to where I don't normally stream.
Oh,
I've been thinking about that.
It's a super easy.
Because I heard about the soundtrack. It's really good.
The soundtrack is phenomenal. It is absolutely great, and it's a fun game. I mean, if you get stuck on the puzzles, you can just look up a guide to it.
Right.
I mean, it's the puzzles are fun,
Mm-hmm.
but most of it is the interactions. It's the interacting with the demon girls. uh, yeah, it's a fun one. It's a fun little game. Like so many great games. It's just like it's free, and I'm like, there's so much put into this. Like, it's free.
Yeah, when I saw it was I thought you bought it. So when I looked it up and I noticed it was free, I was like, maybe I should give this a shot. And because I remember Josh stopped by and he said, yeah, it has like a really great soundtrack. So sometimes that's half the game. That's what I got out of Hotline Miami. I thought that had like a really good soundtrack. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think I still stand that the Helltaker
Mm-hmm.
soundtrack is one of the best indie soundtracks I've ever heard. Like I
That sounds
stand
very
by
promising.
that. I hesitate to say I like it better than Doki Doki Literature Club because that has such a place in my heart. But it's if it's at least a second. Helltaker's at least a second in my favorite indie game soundtracks. Oh, I just remembered Stardew Valley is technically an indie game. Uh, thanks for the host, Liv.
No problem.
Uh, yeah, Stardew Valley's an indie game, so I guess. Oh, that's a hard one too. I guess maybe Helltaker's third. I guess now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, okay, it's third after Doki Doki Literature Club and Stardew Valley, but it's phenomenal. As I keep backtracking it, as I'm remembering other games that are actually considered indie
Yeah.
games.
That I think it was when we did the like best songs for like video games, and my pick was Persona 5. Like every so often I think back and I was like, wait a second, I think I forgot to bring up this game. And so yeah, I get that from time to time to where it's like this had a really good soundtrack, that really had a good soundtrack, and then I have to try and remember when the day comes when we do the podcast, and then I just forget. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, is just forgetting, or I
mhm.
guess remembering. Both of them. Words and stuff and things. I've used them all up today.
Yeah,
uh,
my brain just takes vacations. It does it all the time.
yeah. So, anything else you've been up to?
Uh, other than losing myself in Persona, honestly I kind of may have discovered a really good band that I really love, but I wanted to do it right. So I kind of passed for this week as artist of the week, but I'm hoping to maybe do it when do the podcast next one when I host. I have so much to talk about in terms of just that alone. I like recently just discovered them. Believe it or not, you remember back when I picked the Drunks as my artist of the week? It was just 2 songs.
Yep.
I had one job. Grab 2 links for Dark. That's all I had to do. And all of a sudden, I just found myself just, hey, I never heard of this band. I'm gonna take a look at this. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. What about this band? Oh, that was terrible. What the hell is this? And I let's just say I'll talk about it when we get there. But because of that, I just started listening. When I'm not streaming, I just been kind of listening to music, and I just kind of been like on a run of just grabbing like a whole bunch of different artists. And I think I counted up to around 22 bands sent to go for artist of the week. So I'm kind of stacked when it comes
Oh,
to
wow.
yeah. I just been going ham. I just been like, I like this artist. Let's go with that. So yeah, I have like, let's just say I got 22 queued up, potentially somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 plus. So yeah,
Wow.
I
That is insane.
I got a lot of bands to talk about. Some a little bit more better than others, but yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. Is just been listening to music. I actually did my first couple of music streams in my Discord, so that was a lot of fun.
I was gonna say,
And
it better be not on Twitch.
yeah, it definitely wasn't on Twitch. And if I ever actually did do a couple of music streams on Twitch,
You'd have to do
but
Twitch things, which
but I did put a caveat in there to where non-copyrighted music only. So
yes.
we basically just went with songs that we knew from video games that are really good. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. Just listening to a lot of music, watching streams, kind of the same stuff. So
Yeah. Um. Well, I'd like to. We'll save what I've been. Well, we'll save the RP stuff for later because that's gonna be a whole topic. Because there's
all right,
probably a lot to talk about. I don't know. Maybe there isn't. Maybe we'll
see
have a
what
short
happens when we cross
podcast.
that bridge. Okay.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But other than RP, which I'm not going to talk about right now, um, oh, I guess I started Red Dead 2 campaign, which I'm gonna have to find some balance of doing RP in the campaign. I've made mistakes. Oh, I'll
Yeah,
figure something out.
I actually completely forgot about my run of Red Dead 2, and I actually had to look it up. Yeah, I completely forgot. I had like about like 100 hours in that game, so it was a ride.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna finish it at some point. It's at some point up there with Yakuza. I'm gonna finish that at some point too. Uh, ooh, Dead by Daylight with Lucky last night. That was fun. I had I introduced him. Well, kind of helped him get back into it. He said he'd be interested in doing like other ones, like more co-op, I guess, streams
Mm.
in Dead by Daylight because he hasn't played since it first released, and it's just now like the event's like the 4th year anniversary. So I'm like, yeah, appropriate. Like when it first, it's just like, okay, what was I was like, what was the newest killer? And he's like, well, it was I played it when the game released. I'm like, okay, so there's been 17 new killers since then. Uh, all right, well, that's fun. We encountered Uh, we encountered a good variety. Usually, a lot less people playing Pyramid Head because he's the newest killer
Hmm.
in Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2, and apparently in later Silent Hill games for some reason. Um, and yeah, several different ones. Though we went up against my personal, I just hate them so much. The freaking cannibal, like a Leatherface. I don't know what movie franchise he's from. I always say Texas
Yeah,
Chainsaw Massacre, but I've never looked it up, and I'm like, it's the only horror movie that I know involves a chainsaw.
yeah, you're that's the one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is Leatherface. He
Okay.
kind of looks like a butcher a little bit, kind of dressed, kind of.
Yeah.
I think he has like an apron on. Yeah.
It's the most unbalanced game in existence. They've gotten better. It depends on the skill of like the killer and the survivors. But for them, they've gotten better in the balancing for Dead by Daylight. But yeah, we didn't. Other than that one, that's like the only killer I hate going against because they've got this. They got a charge up chainsaw ability, which basically they just run around in circles swinging the chainsaw, and it's an instant down, and it's next to fucking impossible to get away from because the killers will just run up behind you and be charging it as they're right behind you, so it's impossible for you to get away once that thing is activated. It just makes me so like I don't have fun playing against them. It didn't also help that when I had like a game where there was literally 3 Leatherfaces in a row, and I was like, oh my god, I fucking hate this killer. It's like the only one that I just hate his mechanics. It annoys the fuck out of me. I don't have fun playing against them. They've gotten better. Detective Strike still exist? Oh, Deceive Strike. Deceive Strike? I don't know. I don't know what that is referring to. Is that some sort of ability or something?
Sounds like it.
Oh, you're the guy that thinks the survivors are still the weak role? No, I don't think so. I mean, there are certain killers that are like overpowered in some regards. Um, but depending on the killer, it's pretty, at least in my opinion, it's even-ish depending on the killer and the skill of people. Ever tried a game as killer? Now that's stressful. Yeah, I did an entire stream where I just played as killer. I main the Huntress as my, because I really like her mechanics. And also like she was the first 2 new killers were free, which was the Nurse and the Huntress. Uh, the Huntress was new last time I played, which was like 3 years ago. So it was like, man, I haven't played in for fucking ever. Nurse and the Spirit. Yeah, the Spirit's a little interesting. But like she has an ability where it's like double her terror radius. You hear her humming her lullaby. So it's like there's a terror radius, which is like when the heartbeat starts, if I'm not mistaken. It's when the heartbeat starts in your head. And it's like the killer's right there. But she is like double. But double that is like you hear the lullaby. So it's like you hear her from. There's the new Silent Hill 2 map that they put in the game. It's like so compact that you will, if there's a Huntress killer, you will hear her lullaby 90% of the time. Like there'll be very few areas in the building where you will not hear her lullaby because of the compactness of the map and the size of which you hear it. It's actually pretty unnerving because it's like you have no idea where they are. Are they downstairs, upstairs? Kind of fun. Your other has a problem of vaults, pallets, execution perks, and lack of Mac pressure. Yeah. No. I don't fully agree with that, Josh, but I'm not gonna debate this here and now. So, yeah, Dead by Daylight with Lucky. That was super fun. Had fun doing that. We are both survivors because otherwise we wouldn't be able. It wouldn't be fair if I was a killer and he was a survivor and we were chatting while we were doing that. But maybe sometime I'll hop on as the killer and just like, all right, Lucky, I'll talk to you after I kill you, and then mute, and then just slaughter him. Ugh. But yeah, so we can go to announcements. Mixer's dead.
Yep, I heard about that. I believe, was it Monday? Yeah, it was on Monday, because on July 22, they're just pulling the plug, so it's all over. It's done. Yeah, I
Yep.
heard about that.
A lot of it's, well, they're encouraging people to move to Facebook gaming,
Hmm.
but that's not people are moving to Twitch because
Yeah,
no one.
some of the things I saw on Twitter was basically look at this front page, home page of the Mixer. It's just a whole bunch of people creating freaking Twitch accounts. So
Yep.
yeah,
It's
I actually was talking to a friend of mine. I actually didn't think he really watches Twitch that much, but uh, he was kind of saying some stuff, and I instantly started thinking like I would think that Facebook Live is a little bit more of an older crowd, while Twitch is kind of more of like a younger audience. Is what I kind of felt, and so it's like completely. I kind of feel like it's completely different worlds, at least in
well,
my opinion.
also I would never do Facebook game. Well, one because like Facebook is a completely. It's like what you use to like communicate with friends and that. If you even still use Facebook, I haven't been on my Facebook in forever, and I haven't posted
Same.
anything in a year. I was gonna say years, but I posted some stuff around graduation. Or was that stuff posted? No, I didn't post any of that stuff. Someone else posted that stuff and linked me. Anyway, um, it's just like Facebook is for your friends,
Yeah.
and uh, just having, even if you make a completely different account, having the same place where you do like your fun streams and stuff on the same platform where you're talking with your grandparents, I guess, or stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I don't. It's just not appealing because you just want some. You just don't want it all in the same place. Like you want to feel different when you're streaming, as opposed to when you're just browsing Facebook. But if you just have them both on the same, then it's just. I mean, it also makes it harder for you to separate your I guess more IRL friends from your online persona if you're not really that like don't want people to see it that much or such like I just think it's just Facebook gaming's just not it it's just it doesn't make any sense for Facebook. Like go to freaking YouTube, go to Twitch to stream. Facebook just doesn't make any sense to try and do it because that's not what Facebook is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got the money to back it up. Though apparently Mixer should have had that too, but you know,
Yeah.
surprise, surprise, their tactic of spending shit tons of money on a handful of huge streamers did not pay off. Big surprise. It's like I used the analogy when I talked about it Friday, yesterday as building a navy and investing like 90% of your funds to your navy into like two giant battleships, and then like being and then having your fleet sunk because like well guess what your navy doesn't you can't do well because you have no escort ships, you just have battleships. Like you need
Right.
it, you can't just invest in one giant ass ship. I use the ship analogy because that makes a lot more sense to me. That just like putting all your eggs in one basket as opposed to a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of little baskets. Um, I don't know. Maybe a ship analogy is not the best analogy. Works for me, but maybe not for everyone. Uh, but yeah, if they had have done a different approach where they spent less money out to smaller, still like yeah, communities that had a lot of people, but not like huge ones, like a bunch of I guess well, let's call them medium size streamers. That would have been a much better one because it would have brought in a more diverse crowd, a more like smaller, more diverse groups instead of just these huge personalities where a lot of times people only watch them because they're huge personalities, meaning when they're not streaming, most people aren't going to stick around on the platform to see and be introduced to other people because they just care about watching Ninja play Fortnite. Yeah, that's. I was just like,
Yeah, I I for the most part, most of what you were saying, almost 100% agree. But at the end there, I think there is something else, and that is I think Mixer they thought about dumping a whole bunch of money on a bunch of big streamers, and I think they thought, well, we're going to get that same audience. But what they didn't know or didn't anticipate is that you basically had these streamers essentially win the game. They're done. They're
yeah,
checking out. So because like when they were on Twitch, this is your bread and butter. You got to be on every single day, and because of that, that was building an audience. I was building up to something. But now that they won the game, why do you need to stream every day? You don't have to. You won. It's over. So you didn't have to stream as often. And I think the same friend that I was actually talking about with Twitch, he actually did check the numbers. The first day they got a bunch of traffic. And then after that, everyone just went their own way because they weren't streaming every day. And because of that, the numbers were dwindling. And therefore, they started to realize, wait, we ain't getting our investment. We're supposed to be getting our investment back is by having these big streamers. And that's when they realized it's not working out. And so it took less than a year for them to finally realize
yeah,
probably not just, oh, you got to get the biggest streamers. You actually got to actually do something else to bring in an audience. That's not enough. And
yeah.
so it clearly shows that that's clearly what happened. So
And let's put this in perspective. The
mhm.
statistics on like the streaming platforms for like increase in viewership after lockdown with all of this stuff going on, like Twitch, like I think it doubled, YouTube. I don't remember the
Oh
numbers
yeah,
specifically, but I remember the Mixer number. It went up 0.2%.
I actually didn't look it up myself, but I heard of it. Is on Twitch in Europe, whenever you log into Twitch and just watch a channel, there's a default setting when you're on your browser,
Yeah,
and I thought I actually heard that they actually dropped the default setting. You can always set it back, but
right.
they dropped the default setting from I think at its whatever max source is, and they dropped it to like 480p or something like that. And like that was just to show like how much people are just online now because of the lockdowns.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was something that I heard, and that was just on Twitch. So you can only imagine what's going on say YouTube, Facebook, and on Mixer. So I can only imagine that everyone's numbers online all increase because
Yeah.
everyone's at home, and there you go.
But that's the thing is that Mixer at this height, there's like no other better time where there'll be more people, except when
Mm-hmm.
there's more people in the world, uh, which, will probably not happen because we'll have some sort of crisis because we can't actually sustain everyone. But that's not a topic for this podcast. Um,
Yeah.
where it's like, this is the peak of when online content is getting consumed. And if you are seeing an increase of 0.2%, it's just like, that's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's so nothing. It just is such a testament to how badly they just handled Mixer. Like they thought they were just like they could throw a whole bunch of money behind it and throw a whole bunch of money at it and then that would fix the problem. And it's just like when I saw that statistic, I was just like,
Yeah.
wow, like less than a percentile increase. It's just like, yeah, they fucked up really badly. I mean, yeah, not like I ever.
Hmm.
I Mixer's always been like, I guess more or less a butt joke of streaming services. It was like there was a time when it was like will Mixer rival Twitch, and Mixer barely even could sustain itself. Like you can't rival something if you can't even pay your own bills.
Yeah.
But oh well, now there's a giant immigration of people from Mixer to Twitch because people fucking hate Microsoft. Right? It was Microsoft that, yeah, Twitch, Mixer was Microsoft. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It was its own entity, and then just like Twitch, it was bought out by a big company and changed its name. So
Right. Yeah. Well, it was Mixer for like 3 years, and they just
I think it was Beam, and then Mixer got it, and then changed the name
I think
to
it's
Mixer.
2017 the buyout happened, so it's like been 3
Hmm.
years, and well, goodbye Mixer. Like I can't say I'm surprised. I it's just the only tragedy here is all the small people, like all the big people who got contracts to move over to Mixer. They're set.
Hmm.
They got their money. They can just go back to where they were big before. Like
Right.
it's entirely possible, or they could just retire. I mean, I don't know why you would unless you really hated your job and
No,
hated people.
I think they definitely, I think they definitely would go to somewhere. I don't know if they would necessarily come back to Twitch. I'm sure some of them would, but I don't know, because you still do have YouTube. That's an option
Hmm.
if you actually want to try and go to Facebook, but I kind of doubt that. But it's still an option. So, but yeah, I think there. I think you would definitely hear of Shroud and Ninja and everyone else that went to Mixer. I'm sure you're going to hear them in weeks and months to come. Don't know how long they're going to write out their paycheck essentially before they actually come back, but they're going to be out there for sure.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, sad for it's all the big people made bank, but all the small people who made
Hmm.
communities, well, they all got fucked over. And that's the, like,
Yeah.
huge tragedy. And good on some communities who are, like, with the transition over to, like, a lot of them transitioning over to Twitch, that there are communities that are transferring over with the streamer, which is great to see that kind of
Hmm.
support. Like, but yeah, it's just it just sucks that so many people have just been like, yeah, Microsoft's just done with it. It's like, no, it's not making money. It's not going anywhere. Fucking throw it out. And
Yeah.
they didn't even give any warning either. This was all like
No,
just
it seemed
out
like
of
it just came
nowhere.
out of left field. Yeah.
Like, what the hell? You have people you actually are paying to
Hmm.
stream on it, and like with I don't know what they called it, partner, whatever the partner equivalent and affiliate equivalent on
I think it
Mixer
would be
was.
partner. Yeah.
It's just like it didn't give them any warning. There was just nothing, and all of a sudden we're closing shop. Like, wow, just didn't give a shit about it. Obviously,
Yeah, and they pretty much they basically gave their 30-day notice. Is basically what they did. It's just we're done. It's over. So you have 30
we're
days
burning the
to pack up and
servers.
leave. Yeah.
We're taking the servers out back and shooting them.
We gotta put an old yeller down.
Look at the
All right,
flowers,
out to the
Mixer.
barn.
Look at the flowers.
It was a beautiful day to die. Yeah,
yeah.
the only other thing I would probably say about Mixer is I I would like to see a good, reliable competition, just so that way, hopefully, Twitch would be able to do better in their own game.
Yeah.
So that when you think about it from that perspective, it is a downer because, I mean, obviously, streamers, big and small, mostly with the smaller streamers, they have to basically go elsewhere, and hopefully their audience follows them. And then, because like one possibility that when you think about it, it could have been something, because they are coming out with the Xbox Series X. What if they were to, like, if somehow Mixer was still around, it was still a thing. What if they integrated something into the Xbox Series X to where it's like easier for them to stream on Mixer or something like that? They could have
They already
done something there.
they already did that with Twitch on the Xbox One. They had easy streaming from the Xbox One with Twitch, so I assume they had it with Mixer once that became a thing. So I
It
don't.
just seems like they could have expanded on that one way or another. It was just a thought, but yeah, they could have done something, but yeah, just seems like missed opportunity.
Yeah. Well, on the one hand, it's like Twitch has no competition, but on the other hand, with the closing of Mixer, I think people on Twitch are going to find there's either two ways. It's like either Twitch is going to be like, yeah, there's no competition, and people are going to
Yeah,
still be the way they are, or people on Twitch are going to realize Twitch is all we have, so we're going to fight double hard. Like it just because they're the monopoly doesn't mean because everything that they are is because of the people under them.
hmm
If we're basically the people on Twitch are cornered now, or they're basically
yeah.
cornered. Twitch is all they have. They're gonna fight to the death for Twitch. So as much power as whoever the fuck owns Twitch thinks they have, Amazon. Who owns Amazon? Google? I don't know. The corporate
Twitch,
the
it's Amazon.
corporate spider web is so fucking huge, and eventually ends up at Disney. Um, well, at least in the movie industry, it all ends up at Disney. Uh, but yeah, it's. I mean, Twitch is all we have, and if people aren't willing to fight for it and make the changes, then yeah, the end of the road, I guess. I don't know.
Actually, that just now occurred to me. Uh, I guess I could think back to that conversation I did have with my friend. What would you say it would take for a company to compete and even get to a Mixer level and hopefully compete with Twitch? What would you say would it take, in your opinion?
A lot of big brass balls. Like Twitch is such a juggernaut, and the fact that Mixer failed and had all this funding
Mm-hmm.
behind it really will dissuade other people from trying to take on Twitch unless they learn from some of the mistakes Mixer made. Even then, there's no guarantee it would. I don't know what it would take. It would take a long time. No matter what happened, it would take
Yeah.
years. So I can't even begin to think of what would need to happen, just that it would take a long time for it to actually get any sort of staying power.
Because I'm just thinking back to what my friend said. My friend was saying Well, as long as you have, I mean, in a nutshell, he was using TikTok as an example. What if TikTok decided to do like a streaming service, and they would end up, they have a very large audience, according to what he was saying, and he was basically just going on the idea that what if TikTok did this, and then I started thinking about it, and I was like, you need more than just a big audience. You need more than that, because you got to think about it from Twitch. Because what is Twitch linked to? It's linked to Amazon. So Amazon, it's a service that everyone wants, that everyone needs. You buy products online all the time, and so there's like a steady income coming in right there. So already you have a platform that's not even related to like streaming. Well, there probably is, like, streaming music, streaming videos, that sort of thing, video service, but it's not, you know, Twitch is Twitch, Amazon is Amazon, but they are owned by the same company. So there you have your money coming in. And then on the side, you also have Twitch. So I was thinking, from a money standpoint, that actually works. What if you had a service that wasn't even related to streaming and it made money? So therefore, there's your income. So as your income's coming in, you could also take on a side project. So in a scenario, let's just use TikTok. TikTok, a company, say like eBay, maybe buys TikTok. So eBay's eBay, TikTok's TikTok, and they think, well, what if we take TikTok, put a streaming service on it? Now comes the other aspect of it. Servers. You need servers in order to support all that data. And if you have a bunch of users, obviously you need to support that. So then you need to buy up server farms and hopefully keep those maintained. Also, there's going to be also a workforce to monitor all of that. Because obviously you have people that's on Twitch, but they're probably not necessarily working with Amazon directly. They're working just on Twitch, and they just work with its functionality, all of the features, that sort of thing. So, kind of like similar thing. You have a workforce that kind of focuses on TikTok. And that's what you would need to do in order to sustain itself, because there you got the popular audience. You would have something like eBay with actual money involved. So even if money's a problem, well, hopefully you have like eBay be the one that kind of holds steady, hopefully, and then so on and so forth. So that was kind of like my thought of like what it would take. And even still, even if all works out, there is still a chance that it may not be able to compete with Twitch just based on everything that I just said alone, because it still might get up to Mixer level to where it's like it's still not a reliable service, because there's still one more variable involved. Not only do you need to have like your own audience, but think about something else. What is something else that Twitch has that no one else has? Game developers. Where are they all located? Twitch and YouTube. Why are they not on Facebook Gaming? That's another question. And so at that point, you need to start thinking, well, if you want to bring in more of an audience, you're gonna need to get some game developers to show off exclusive content on that platform, and that's how you draw the audience. Well, and even still, it may not completely work out, because still everyone uses Twitch and YouTube. It's just default, So even still, even if all of that works, it still may not work out, because there's one aspect that out of everything that I just said could still trump everything. When people create an account, they kind of stick with it. So there's a good chance that a lot of us might just stick on YouTube and Twitch just based on the fact that we don't want to create another account. How many more accounts do we need? So that was just kind of like my little take that I had with my friend. And it, it was almost kind of irritating to some degree because like he almost wasn't paying attention to me, and the whole time I was like, well, you got to do this, you got to do this, and the whole time he was like, yeah, if you just had a bigger audience, but you need to have a good infrastructure, you need to have a large server farms, and you need to support this. Yeah, if you just had a whole bunch of people, just be like so popular, they would. You're not even listening. So, but yeah, that was like a little bit of a conversation I kind of had with my friend. So,
Well, what you said made sense. Unfortunately, it makes too much sense for how capitalism works, where
there you go.
it just baffles me. Like everything you said,
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense, but also everything you said, you could say is why Mixer would work because
Mm-hmm.
guess who their buddy company is? Microsoft, who makes shit
Yep.
tons of money, and they weren't hurting for money. They could have taken on the expenses for Mixer, but Mixer wasn't making them enough money, so they cut Mixer.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter in the corporate world. It doesn't matter how it doesn't matter if it's doing well. If it's not doing as well as they wanted to and make a lot of money. It doesn't matter what. If you have 100 assets that are making you millions of dollars a
Mm-hmm.
year, but you have one asset that's barely making even, they don't see like, oh, we've got this. They don't
Yeah.
add the numbers together and say we're still in the positive. They look at that one thing and say, yeah, goodbye. That's just
Mm-hmm.
how it works. Unfortunately, which is just really, I personally just think it's just a dumb way of. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But oh well. I'm not gonna talk about socioeconomics and such and such. That's not what this podcast is about. It's about video games, and we don't have degrees in that stuff.
Nope. But if enough alcohol comes my way, I got some stories.
uh, yeah. Um, so I guess before we do the clip bake, we'll let games that are coming out that we're interested in. We could do that quickly.
Yeah. If you
If you
want
have
to do
anything.
clips, feels
Oh no, I was
yeah.
gonna say we should mention like games that are coming out because I've got one.
Oh, games. I think I was looking earlier, and no, I didn't see any games that was on my list that I was looking forward to.
Well, Last of Us 2 came out. I've never really
Oh I think I saw JoJo in his playthrough on
in
that.
his
That was
stealth playthrough of that. Yeah, in his don't host, don't nothing. I'm not giving a game name. I wonder how much shit he still was like backseat gamers and that. Like, you think you've hidden yourself from people, but they'll find you. Shitlords will find you no matter how you hide.
mm-hmm.
But one game that was announced last Monday, not this previous Monday, that was the 15th, was I think I don't know if I mentioned in the last podcast some rumors of a new Star Wars game, Star Wars Squadrons, a Star Wars flight simulator game where you get to play as like TIE fighters and X-wings and other things. Like it looks great. They released the cinematic trailer for it on like the 15th and then the gameplay on the 18th, and it looks so amazing. It's been uh we haven't had a proper Star Wars flight sim since god, the 1990s, unless you count like the Starfighter series, then I guess like 2006. Like there's been no Star Wars flight sims for like ever. And finally, it looks like EA actually made a good. Well, they made Jedi Fallen Order, which was good, and Battlefront 2 eventually became good. But it looks like they've managed a a good flight sim. Like me and Lucky were talking about it a couple days ago. We were going back and forth about it while I was streaming, and we're both excited for it. It's like we're just both like, yes, this is gonna be great, and what I'm gonna love is just I could find like a group of people, and we'll play together, and we'll all role play. Like we'll all be like, fighter call outs and like and that stuff. Like we're the squadron. Like we're not just playing a game. We're flying these fighters. Like I can just
Nice.
I just want that. I like yeah. Those I can't wait to see that where it's like Red One, you've got a fighter on your tail. I'm gonna circle around and get you. It's just like just get into character, be the dog, be the pilot.
Hmm.
It has so much potential. I just really hope it doesn't bomb. I'm just like it looks good. It looks like it's got like I I don't know what I want in a Star Wars sim, but I feel like Squadrons is going to deliver it. Like it's got so much to it, and it's gonna be one of the only. There's very few games where they actually like they keep like the strengths and weaknesses of like the Empire fighters versus Rebel fighters, where Rebel fighters have better like shielding and durability, where the TIE fighters are more agile and maneuverable, and they're keeping that for this. They're actually doing it where TIE fighters are going to be they have no shields. Um, they have more firepower and like maneuverability and speed, where the X-wings and like A-wings and that they have shields and a lot more other extra things. And it's just so great that they didn't just do what they've done in like other games where they just make the X-wing and the TIE fighter the same, where it's even. They just basically play the exact same and are just like it's a fighter. So it's like there's no real advantage or disadvantage. You're about equal, but this is going to be like they have their roles and you're going to be able to just go straight in. Like I'm just so looking forward to it. And there's also going to be a campaign, which is I from what I hear it's going to be a short campaign, but I think it's like a split, like you'll play both the rebels you play as a rebel pilot and as an imperial pilot. I'm not sure if it's going to be one of those stories where it's like it switches between the two every other mission or something, or if it's going to be um, play as the rebel. You play through the campaign from the rebel perspective, and then you play through the campaign as the empire perspective. I'm not sure, but either way, I have high hopes for the game. I really hope it works, and it's because it's just going to be such a shame if this like flops. We'll probably never get another Star Wars flight simulator, and just that'd be heartbreaking. So, fingers crossed. Please, please, EA, don't be a fucking idiot.
Yeah, I thought I heard about that, and I started thinking, I bet Dark's just gonna lose himself in that game. Hopefully, maybe JoJo could probably get in on that, and maybe like you three, Lucky, yourself, and JoJo might be able to do something. So, yeah, I thought that was kind of awesome for you guys. So I'm kind of happy for you.
Yeah, I'm just fingers crossed, but I
Hmm.
want to be optimistic. I mean, It's sad, but they did specifically in the gameplay trailer say you don't buy anything with real money. No microtransactions.
Bullshit. It's EA.
Yeah, but if they do, I they said everything will be
Hopeful
unlockable
thinking
in
they
game.
don't. Hopeful thinking they don't.
Well, I I don't remember. No, Star Wars Fallen Order that didn't have any. I don't think it had any microtransactions. At the very least, I think there was only like pre-purchase stuff, which is like that's just pre-purchase stuff.
Right.
Um, I don't think there was any extra stuff. At least nothing that really mattered, like at all. So EA really can't afford another Battlefront 2. Like if they want to keep their license with Disney for video game for making Star Wars games, they cannot have another Battlefront 2 with that kind of just shit show. If they do,
Yeah.
they're 100% not, well, not that Disney gives two shits, but they're
Well, as long as they don't do a movie.
as long as they don't
Because
do
I because correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that exactly what happened? They did a movie and then they came out with Star Wars Battlefront and it's like, wait, this is getting a lot of bad publicity. Hey EA, can you do something about your game because it might shit on our movie? So
I don't remember
it
that being a
seemed like
problem.
that's what I heard. I could be wrong.
I mean, it was the loot boxes which everyone flipped shit over with Battlefront 2. I don't remember anything unless you're well, the only movie part was like after the Last Jedi with hurting how Solo uh, performed because fucking Ryan Johnson doesn't give two shits about the freaking Star Wars fandom and just like, yeah, sure, here's a movie. Which he's on record as saying he didn't give two shits about continuity. He didn't care about the Star Wars movie. He was hired to make a movie, and he made a movie. That's why it makes so much sense why he's constantly like just played up people and been like, yeah, rewrite for the Last Jedi and this stuff, and totally just been nonchalantly not give a shit about any criticisms because he didn't give a shit about the movie when he made it. So anyway, never talk about Disney. No clips, save us clips.
All right. I'm slowly bringing mine in one by one.
One by one, by one, by one. They will fall. Let's see if I can't get. Let's see if this all works. Yeah, it works. Okay. Let's get all these loaded up.
There's one more. Bam.
And
I think that's all of them. Let me double check.
And
Yep, we're good.
a boop. Oh, my ears. Ah. They just freaking went. Like, ah. That was unexpected. I am in pain. Paste and go. Just loading everything up. It'll just make it easier. And that one. Do you want to add those clips that you took of my channel too, or?
Oh, yeah. I think I still have them, actually.
At some point, we're probably going to need to be like, hey, you know, we can't have so many clips. Oh well. It's a fun part.
I guess I'll do them in order.
Yeah, that makes canonical
So here's the
sense.
first one. And here's the second one. Yeah, just in case if anyone missed Dark's stream, right when I showed up, one thing happened, and then just minutes after that just happened, another thing happened again.
Oh, that was
so
great.
it's like right when I showed up, man.
And so many clips. All right, and
So many.
so many clips. Turn on screen share, please. Turn to page 394. That's a really bad Snape impression. I'm almost sorry about that. Oh no! Screen share does that. Oh yeah, I forgot. Forgot screen share does that. We're not there anymore.
Oh no.
Oh no. It's fine. Just don't look at it. Don't look at the second screen playing. Just ignore it. So let's go. First clip from Admiral Baru. I've seen this person's emotes around. I've never actually
Admiral
seen
Baru.
Baru. Uncle Owe, Baru. Where's my cursor? Okay, never mind. Where the fuck? There it is. Alright, first one.
Just do softcore? I don't wanna! I enjoy hardcore! I enjoy it! Nice world name. Oh, fucking beautiful.
Buffer! Failure. Okay, that's at the quality. I don't want this stuff at high quality. 720. 720 is fine. 720 30 is fine for me. Okay. There's that one. And then now the next one. Same person.
Oh, fucking... I hate this. Just end it, please.
It's locked.
Ah!
Maybe I can find a way to sneak in.
Oh, just so done. Just like, fuck this, I'm done with this game. Fuck it.
By the way, for those that are wondering, my theme I kind of went for this week of clips is I actually decided to grab a couple of people that got DMCA'd, and basically I went through and grabbed some clips I thought was kind of interesting. So.
Oh, okay. Alright, next one from Sheriff Eli.
You see a clown over here?
Oh, behind the door! Behind the door!
Stop when I get to him. About
Now.
there, right here.
A bit to the right.
All right. Now.
He's wearing baby blue suit.
Oh. I think maybe you've been under a bit too much stress, Mr. Abdul. All right, there ain't no clown out there, sir. Just me and you.
Yeah, you're right. There's no clown.
Center Street, Mission Road Police Station. Respond for reports of 1052 in the area. Need to have.
Oh my god. They're just standing there right on the notebook and just beating the shit out of the clown. Yeah, you know what? You're right, officer. There is no clown. Meanwhile, on the radio, we got a 1052 outside the police station. Dispatch.
Also,
to
I
PD.
may have added one of my own clips, so.
I see that. You can't attack me in my safe house. Let's see. Let's see this exact thing happen. Go.
And then yet, here's this cop who thinks he knows all. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, crap. You can't attack me in my safe house. Come at me. Ah! What the fuck was that?
I just love the timing on that. You can't attack me in my safe house.
Kicks open the door, blasts you with a shotgun.
Every time I see that clip, I just want a small little soundbite. Surprise, mother!
Yeah. Surprise,
It
motherfucker.
works so beautifully.
That would, yeah. Alright. Eli sums it all up. Okay, let's watch this.
I mean, is it unfair? Depends on who you ask. Is anything going to happen with it? Depends on who you ask. Are some streamers going to suffer for it? If they keep going down that road thinking that dog with no teeth is asleep, he's not. He's awake and he has teeth. And he's looking for somebody to make an example out of. That will not be your boy, which is why I'm playing Blow Me Away by Recent Rumors, a band you might recognize from such publications as Nothing.
I was about to DMCA,
Yep.
which has also been a thing
I
that's
thought-
been going on.
I just thought that one was funny.
Okay, so here's first of my clips. This one's including little scene between Milton's character, Wild West RP, one of his characters, and then Lyra, who's Nikita's Wild West RP character. Playing the clip.
Okay, I'm gonna just hold this right here for you, Lyra. I have complete faith in you. I'm not worried at all. It's in my grandma. It's in my.
Where's it hurt, darling? Where's it hurt?
Hold on, right there. Hold on. Can't concentrate. Hold on. Okay, this is what's gonna happen. You just pull up the.
Okay.
Nice.
I just love you could hear the smile in Nikita's voice, because she did not miss. She aimed for him. It just hit it perfectly. Good one. Oh, here's another Nikita clip.
I want you to try and keep as much control as possible with the helicopter, though.
All right. We're a little shaky. We're doing good.
Forza, they're talking about killing the hostage. They're talking about stealing gold bars. After them, Forza, after them. It was a robbery, Forza. It was a robbery. 423, we're going to be in an active 80 with a
Bryce?
colored bug star truck.
want you to try and keep.
Yeah, she was tagging along for Bryce's helicopter training. Just oh god. And then next two clips are related to that. This one's from Officer Angel's perspective. She got out of the helicopter before it went.
Oh shit!
423, we're going to be in an active 80 with a blue and coloured Bugstar truck.
Called it.
We thought they were cleaning the store. They actually robbed it.
344 secondary, continuing southbound Portola.
Wow, that was like kind of the best decision I made all day, I think.
Oh, that is so funny when you see multiple angles.
Yeah, and this is Bryce. This is a little later.
Test today.
Yeah?
And Tessa reached over and grabbed the controls and rammed me into a building to blow up to make sure that I didn't pass it.
Wait, Tessa do that?
She
What-
didn't.
she
I
does-
just fucked. I got nervous. I got super nervous. I fucked up. I'm taking it again tomorrow, but I'm pretty bummed. I'm pretty bummed. Not gonna lie.
So what's in
Test
person?
today.
She's actually Nikita, like taken Tessa, and she's becoming a dispatcher actually for the PD, and she's hoping to eventually become a police officer.
Nice.
Yeah. So she's just kind of Tessa's character's just sort of been idling for the past little bit, and nothing's been going on with Tessa or Mary, so it's a new direction. She's hoping will breathe new life into the character. So this is Ashlyn and Brenda. That's Brenda. Let's play this.
Transport.
Oh gosh.
We'll be contacting DOC shortly.
All right. Cleaning.
What the hell? Malton? Malton?
Did you just suffocate him with a fucking fire extinguisher?
No? Malton, wake up! Malton, it's not funny.
Brenda
Malton,
just,
wake up!
suffocated Malton. Stop, Brenda!
10-4, B76.
Malton, wake up, you big baby!
Brenda, you're gonna kill him!
It's just a fire extinguisher.
Oh, that is so great.
This Lovey's on the radio with freaking EMS. It's like, yeah, Brenda just suffocated. Brenda, stop!
Oh, that is so funny.
Because it showed it later. Like one of them grabbed a fire extinguisher and shot and hit Brenda with it, and showed. It's like what happens is like the oxygen levels go down, and that starts draining health as if you're drowning. So that's what happened. She just freaking suffocated him to death. And then here are the clips from a couple clips Liv made from my RP session today. Let's go. Oh! 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 Oh, Moxie, you good? Ow! Yep, that just hurt a lot. Ooh.
What happened? What happened?
I ran into someone. Oh, Moxie. Yeah, sorry, my horse wasn't responding. Ooh. Yeah, I think I'll be fine. Ow.
He seems like a strong man, so he's fine.
Oh, I've had worse.
Phil, not me.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, and I'll show you where this is where things fuck up. Let's go play by play. So this guy's coming right on the road. I just assume he's an NPC. So I'm like, oh, he's going to keep going straight. I'm going to go left. And let's actually, wait, I can actually play this in 0.25 speed. And right here is where we both went to avoid each other. Boom. And then I get hit by one of the people we're riding with. Oh.
I can't remember where I saw the clip, but I remember seeing a clip of something, and I remember someone saying, "Why did you turn? Why did you fucking turn?"
Like I
forget where I seen and heard that clip, but something about those words from an unrelated clip just all of a sudden just rings so true. Because you turn to the left, and this guy turns to his right, and you just intersect, and it's like, why? The idea. Why did you turn? Why did you fucking turn?
And then this is like 10 seconds down the road, this clip.
Yep. Just minutes after.
Oh no, not again. Oh dear.
Has anybody got any medical experience at all?
My stomach. I just fell on my low.
Ah, come on. 4 seconds left. Watch that again. Yep, that local turns sideways. He runs right into him. That's fucking great.
I was tempted to call that last one lawn dart because all I just see is the guy in the dark trench coat just get launched.
Yeah.
Because like you flipped. This guy.
I did a somersault over the guy. Yep.
Started out there.
That was great. And what a great segue into talking about sort of RP. Because I've been doing that. I've done 2 days of RP. Today was absolutely insane. Like the first day was okay. Like, got some interactions. And then we had a part of the stream where we met with these 2 people, Livy and Benji, and they took us out to the middle of nowhere. And we got high on peyote. And then we participated in a horse race, which we placed 5th out of 6th, but to be completely fair, my horse was completely outclassed by everyone else. So there was no surprise in that. So that was kind of like, oh, it was a good day. And then today was just, so I started at like 2:30 because the event for the next race was at 3, so I went on and had some RP with fellow contestants in that, and then we did the race. And I think it was because it wasn't so much straightaways, it was a lot of like going fast and handling turns. I don't remember actually how many, there were 5 people, and I came in 3rd, which I was like super like wow about. There was the 3 of us. It's funny, the 3 of us that were talking with each other and like just shooting the shit while we're waiting for Data to take over, we came 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. And it's like at the end we were all like no one was sure. Like I lost track of laps. Like we're all pretty sure we all 3 of us ran an extra lap. So the judges had to figure out like if we ran an extra lap and who came in what, because we did a full extra lap because we weren't sure. but it was great. And then they loaded us up in a carriage, took us to Valentine, and we had a secure transfer for the prize money. Got $150 for third place, which I paid 10 to race, which I didn't end up paying 10 the last race because I got sponsored by the guy who was putting on the race. He was like, I was like, oh well, I guess I'll just spectate because I only had $10 and the entry fee was $10, like to race was $10, and to spectate was $5. So I was like, oh, I guess I won't. And he's like, you know what? I was looking to sponsor someone. You, son, I'm gonna sponsor you. I just paid for myself this time, which paid off apparently. I think it was a lot because of the corners. Like the track just worked with my horse a lot better. I need to get better at managing the stamina of my horse, because at the end I was like, it was really touch and go at the end, but God, it was a fun race and just interesting stuff. Then I switch over to back to server 2, because that's the one I've just been like, yeah, I'll just make that my home server, sure. And go into the Valentine bar, and I meet up with the people that end up in the clips right there I'm riding with, and we're just one of them. I'm so bad with names, which was funny. We're all laughing about how we all forget each other. It's like, this is great, but we're all gonna forget each other because we're all bad with names. It was a running joke through the whole excursion, and we're just the four of us. We're all just like, we're drinking and then shooting the shit. Then the Italian guy, he wakes up in the middle of it, and he starts talking with us, and eventually he's like, oh, there's a theater, and it's like, oh, there's a theater in Saint Denis, didn't know that. And so we ended up going on a trip there, and then I think Liv said his name's Adam, is the British guy, at least that's what he claims. I'd have to rewatch the stuff to catch the names again, but he played a song on the stage, and it was just like awesome, like wow, like damn, this is all like, I was just in the moment, and I'm like, man, this is RP right here. This is what I was hoping to get, and it did not disappoint. And then we ended up going out and camping, and two of them had to sign off, so we went out and camped. They just stayed there, and then the rest of us kind of just dispersed, and I needed to go and eat dinner and then get ready for the podcast, so I left as well. But it was just super fun interactions. Like, oh, I've just been having a blast with RP, and yeah, shit, I had something else I wanted to say. It's something else. I'm trying to remember. Oh, and an interesting thing. So, with the God, the Italian guy, I don't remember his name. Why can't I remember his name? He made some mention of like being part of a security service with someone, but the boss is like, from the way he worded it in character, it sounds like they don't play anymore. So I suggested to him, I'm like, well, you could just start your own, because why let those skills go to waste? And it's funny because for my character, I'd always kind of like I always thought, like, you know what, getting into like a security thing would be a cool roleplay thing, because like you get hired to guard people and that opens up a lot for roleplay. So
yeah,
funny enough, just in the most organic, natural way, there's this person who might open up their own like security service, and I could, if that happens and I talk to the guy again, I could end up being a part of it. I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, I've got like an quote unquote in or like potential to do that, and it's just like, man, I didn't expect it to actually happen because I'm like, well, I don't want to force it. Like, I don't want to just force it. I'll let whatever happens happens. Like, I didn't expect for Ryan to become a casual racer, horse racer, but apparently he's become a casual horse racer now. Yeah, it's just been interesting. The character is playing not entirely as I originally planned, mostly because it's me playing them. But the one thing that I've managed to do is like my concern for my horse, like for Moxie, which you could see in the clip where I did the barrel roll as soon as I'm like, okay, I'm not dead. I went over my horse to make sure they weren't dead. It's like that's the one thing I've managed to keep consistent is that other personality traits can change and manifest. I'm not gonna be too strict with it because it's my first person and I'm not gonna be too strict with what I want them to do. But like with certain aspects, I'm like, I want to keep like some of the aspects. I'm like this, like certain personality traits which force me into certain situations that I normally wouldn't get involved in, but because of personality trait X, Y, and Z, I have to. So there's some RP I wouldn't have done otherwise. So yeah, that's kind of my little ranty rant. Yep. Anything you want to say, Liv? Because you watched that or most of that last sort of major encounter I had.
I felt like I was there since the crash, but because I was getting those clips, I think I didn't actually get back to like after the accident happened, which by the way, I also had when I first jumped in, I actually didn't have audio, so I saw the crash, but I didn't hear it. So yeah, so basically I just opened up the stream and I see a crash and I was like, oh, that was interesting. And then I'm like trying to figure out why I don't have audio, and I fixed all of that, so that's all good. But as I was doing all of that, once I got settled, then got the clips, and when I was able to have audio and watch and all that stuff, it was when you were in the theater.
Ah, yes.
And I think it was when you guys first got in there, and it was like, wow, I've never been to a place like this. This is so fancy, and
yeah,
all that stuff. And so that was basically around that time is when I basically got back, and then yeah, I kind of watched it from that point on. For the most part, kind of not a whole lot happened, and then something stood out at me, and I want to say it was a slight missed opportunity near the end. You guys are kind of like going to a vantage point to just kind of like camp out and just kind of like hang out for a little bit, get like a good view off in the distance. Some people I think were like falling asleep, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And there was a moment on your way over, I felt like it was a missed opportunity. I felt like you could have opened up to some really good role play at that moment. I guess it was an NPC that just started opening fire on you guys, and then like all hell just kind of broke loose before you could even get out your gun and realize what's going on. The guy was already shot dead. And I felt like, God, if that was me. Now, to be fair, I actually don't know how much lore they allow like from real world to bleed into the Wild West roleplay, but my first thought was, man, that guy must have been a freaking Confederate because he came from behind. Those Confederates always come from behind. Those goddamn no good vagrants. You know, that I felt like you could have maybe worked off of that, like, oh, only a backstabber will come from behind, that sort of thing. And I don't know, that was just kind of running in my head. I felt like that was like a good opportunity to like maybe come up with some like good material to like kind of like feed off of it. But then again, to be fair, I actually should say I actually do apologize from like kind of all of like last stream, I want to say, because I felt like I was saying stuff that this is what I would have done, and I kind of wanted to see like Dark do like my way of doing it, but then I started thinking that's probably actually not the best way, because Dark, this is his first time, so obviously, you know, things are not going to be perfect, and plus Dark isn't me, so therefore why am I like saying, hey, you should maybe do this, do that? But you know, so because of that, I actually do want to apologize. I felt like that was kind of wrong on me to a degree, but the one thing I noticed from, and by the way, the only role play that I saw Dark is I only saw the one to where you did it off stream, and I meant to see the one to where I think it was your first stream ever of it.
Yes.
I still need to see that. And then I saw like half, I feel, of this one, I think.
Yeah, I'd say you saw about half. At least content-wise, you saw half.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's... so the only other thing that I noticed, and I mean, basically, I can't give any advice because, well, for one, I shouldn't be going into this like talking to Dark like, oh, you should do it like this, because by the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I say, because Dark, he just has to go through what it is he has to go through. Like it can't, because if I tell Dark to do something, it could come off as forced. So even though that I think that things could have been done better, by the end of it, like, it's still his decision. So obviously it is what it is. And so the one thing I did notice, and I hope Dark like gets better at it, the one thing I did notice, it did feel like this particular, the last one that I just saw with the crash and everything, I felt like you're kind of coming in like as a RP viewer, if that makes sense. There was a lot of like observing and a lot of like just watching and waiting for stuff to happen. You did like give some like input every now and then, and I felt like maybe if you kind of like interacted a little bit more, that would have, but of course, again, that falls in line to where, again, I'm kind of saying that you should maybe do this, but again, this is like what, your second time doing this, day 2, so who am I to do it?
Yeah, no, I mean, I could agree with you in that, but at the same time, I'm like, as much as you're like, man, you kind of just added something there and there. Mm-hmm. That, what I was doing in roleplay, is like 5 times as much as what I do in a normal conversation with people. In a situation like that with me,
right?
That's way more social than I normally am. Like, there were parts where I'm like, there were things I wanted to comment on, but I never. The problem is, like, so many people, and like, I don't want to, like, if a topic gets like changed, that I don't want to drag it back to a topic because I feel like that's pretty forced. It's like it's imposing my narrative in instead of going with the natural flow of it. So there's a lot of times where I wanted to say something, but the conversation got changed. That, or I want to make a comment on certain things, but I was like, there were some areas where I'm like, I want to make a comment on some things, but I was like, I don't think my character would say that though. It was like I don't. I was like, I'm not sure they would know that or know enough about that to comment on it. Like there are moments like that. The funny thing is, like, with the freaking local that just, or yokel, I guess, that freaking attacked us out of nowhere. I was in the middle of, I think that was like immediately after I was like, oh yeah, I was in the Canadian Army. I didn't get to go any more into that because all of a sudden all hell broke loose. There's this freaking guy with a rifle runs up, just starts shooting us. And when you load up in, so the reason I had to reload my gun is because once you load into the server, your guns are not loaded. So I never pulled out my pistol since I loaded into the server, so I had to reload the entire pistol. By the time I did, well, the person was gone. I probably wouldn't have shot them because Ryan would not, because he was on a horse, and Ryan won't, if he can help it, hit a horse, and my aiming is so bad, I would have either hit the horse or I would have hit one of my teammates. Like, I need to get better at the aiming. So I was like, I can't. I'm like, I mean, I'll pull it out, and maybe if I get a shot that I'm comfortable with, I would have taken it. But for the most part, I was like, I just I didn't end up having an opportunity to take a shot because everyone else was much quicker on it and probably had loaded guns. But yeah, it's a mix of both, like, me personally couldn't freaking make that shot safely, and my character wouldn't have taken that shot because they knew they couldn't make it safely. But other than that, like, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I just need to get more comfortable and with the whole situations. But I felt like I'm doing way better than I ever thought I would. Like, I'm like so worried. I'm like, man, I'm not doing too badly. At least not that I felt like. I felt like I was doing a lot better than I thought I would, but then again, like, I always overthink things. But yeah, I'm hoping to, do more, get more comfortable. Maybe people will actually watch. Or I don't know. I can't tell. Like, people lurk, and I'm like, I can't tell if they're watching or not. But oh well, I'm having fun, and hopefully someone's getting enjoyment out of watching. Okay. So, any other things you want to say, Liv?
I think I said everything I wanted to say, so yeah, it was a lot of fun watching. All I just know is, like I said, only saw half of this one, and then I think I saw the first edited, cut down version. The first one that you uploaded on YouTube. I need to see the second one that you uploaded, and yeah, so.
Well,
all I just know is it was a lot of fun just watching you. What was it? 20-something shots on a rabbit.
Oh my god. Yeah, I cut out a lot of the, well, in the second video I cut out a lot of the hunting stuff because I felt like the first one had a lot of it, and I actually had RP in the second one. Oh my god, that rabbit. Didn't I can't remember. Did I end up just running it over or to get away? I'm trying.
I forget.
But like, yeah. I was thinking of getting a shotgun, but like, costs like 128 for a double barrel or 150 for a pump, and that's like, that's a lot of money. Yeah. That's It's like all the money I earned from the race, and I'm like, I'm not sure. I mean, a bolt action rifle be $80, but I don't know how much better I'd be at aiming with the bolt action as opposed to the pistol. I mean, it would definitely be more accurate, but aim-wise, I don't know if I'd get better. That Italian guy did offer to give me shooting lessons at some point, so I'll definitely take him up on that if I get the opportunity to. And also, like, if anyone else wanted to give me, like, shooting lessons, I would 100% take that up, because I need them. But yeah, having fun with it, and hopefully more adventures are in store. I just feel like I've had so much luck with this past stream. The next one, I'm gonna have like next to nothing. I'm gonna be kind of sad. But I get that's just how it is. Like some days, like just boom, boom, boom. There's like stuff happening left and right, and then some days it's just nothing happens. But that's just that's just how RP is. The downtime makes the exciting moments and like when stuff actually happens that much more enjoyable. So yeah, let's move on to Artist of the Week, which we have. I picked Sum 41, and Liv picked Megadeth. That was it. I was like,
yeah,
yes. I know. I should. Why did I remember that? I picked that Ninja Sex Party song specifically because they mentioned Megadeth. Yeah. So I guess I'll go first. I picked Sum 41. They're like a kind of similar to Blink 182 in their music, I guess. I don't know why I've like set up like I've got so much to say. I really don't. I was just like that's who I picked, and no, I like some of their music. And then I asked Liv, "Hey, what did you think?"
Basically, it didn't really seem like it was my kind of type of thing. No song really stood out to me, sadly. So, all in all, it wasn't. It was probably for me a little bit below average, I want to say. So, yeah, wasn't really my kind of type of band, sadly.
Yeah, I kind of figured if you didn't like Blink 182, then you wouldn't like Sum 41. But you know, I completely forgot what I was going to pick this time. But I guess it just means you get to experience the Helltaker soundtrack firsthand yourself.
Yeah, hopefully I get around to that because I was hoping to also maybe do a little bit of Yakuza on my off time as well. So I don't know, just see what happens there on that front, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's a 10-minute to a 2-hour game, depending on if you skip puzzles.
Ah, okay.
It's like 10 minutes if you skip everything. 2 hours if you're bad at puzzles. I think the only puzzle I ended up needing help on was the last one. That was the only one I had. I needed to see the guide for it. I was like, I knew what I needed to do. I just didn't know how to do it.
Right.
But anyway, Liv, talk about Megadeth. That was it.
Yeah, Megadeth. This is basically one of the almost rare times to where I actually pick a classic band that I just really enjoy. So, yeah, needless to say, I was kind of doing other stuff with music, so I just needed like just something easy for me to just kind of remember, go off of, and because like the artist that I really want to talk about is actually going to be for the next podcast. But anyway, But yeah, I went with Megadeth. They're a classic band. I absolutely love them. I don't think there's too many albums or songs that I really don't enjoy. So, like, the one thing I do want to bring up, I want a couple of honorable mentions. There was a couple of songs I didn't go with, but I really do love them. The one thing you're gonna find out very quickly about Megadeth is there's a lot of symbolism. There's a lot of messages. Some of them kind of hidden, some of them just blatant. And there's one song in particular that I actually really do love. I didn't go with it just simply because it. I went with catchy was kind of like more of like what I went with the songs that I did. And there's a song called Kill the King that I actually really do love. And what I really like about it is every time when I hear the chorus, my first thought is Roman Empire, because the chorus to the song goes something like, kill the king is dead, long live the king, I am the king. And it goes something like that. And there was a time in the Roman Empire to where you essentially had like the changing of the guard, to where, because there was leadership that only lasted for like 1 week and then the emperor was killed. So it's like a revolving door. And every time when I hear that song, that's like my first thought. And then another thing that I really do love about Megadeth is Dave Mustaine. He keeps going from the heart. He keeps going from the soul, and he doesn't just go from the heart, but he also pulls emotion out of it, which makes it a lot more different. And for example, another song that I really wanted to go with, there's a bass member he used to know very closely in Metallica. Metallica at one point they got the little bit of a nickname called Alcoholica because there was always like beer next to them, whether it be on stage or what have you. And they just got that name. And the thing about Dave Mustaine, he used to be in Metallica, but he got kicked out. He got kicked out because he was an angry drunk. And he always had problems with Lars and James Hetfield, but I don't think he had any problem with Cliff. And basically, during one tour, everyone was asleep, and the bus to Metallica actually flipped, and Cliff actually died during that accident. And through word of mouth, it reached Dave Mustaine, and even though that he wasn't in Metallica anymore, he still used that emotion and he drawed basically a song out of it. And the song I really wanted to go with it, but I couldn't because it just didn't hit the same notes as like the other songs I went with. And that song was In the Darkest Hour. And basically he wrote that song in one sitting, and he just had Cliff on his mind, who passed away from Metallica. And then of course also when Dave Mustaine, when he got kicked out of Metallica, which if anyone knows their music history, there is not a very good relationship between Dave Mustaine and Metallica. So because of that, there's like a lot of tension there. And the thing about Dave, he grew in again from the heart, from what he experienced. When he got kicked out of Metallica, he came up with the song Set the World Afire. And so that's just a little something that kind of makes Dave a little bit different than most other musicians. And in terms of songs, the four that I went with are, I can't pick one that is better. I like them all. I like Trust. I like Angry Again. Peace Sells is a classic. That was a song I heard from GTA Vice City. It's just, I really do love it. But there is definitely a song that stands out for me, and that is definitely Public Enemy #1. And I actually prefer the acoustic version a little bit because that was the first version I actually heard, and I absolutely love it. And I just love that chorus. everything about the song is great. I do like the metal version as well, but the acoustic version is actually what I heard first, and it's just awesome. It's just great. And yeah, so that was kind of like my picks I went with, and this is just one of my favorite bands of all time. I really do love them, and yeah, I can't speak any more highly of them. Probably the least favorite song, but it's not saying much because I still love it, is probably Angry Again. But yeah, I don't know what Dark felt about him.
I liked it. I'm
Nice.
not sure if I've heard Megadeth before. I felt like at least the chords in Public Enemy #1, I was like, I think I've heard the chords before.
Mhm.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it because, I've heard that song because some chords are the same because, music. There's a lot of stuff that's just the same. 4 chords make most popular pop songs. Dark actually likes metal? Yeah. I actually liked it. I like Peace Sells mostly because I was like, Peace Sells. I'm like, no, it doesn't. And then at the end of the song, they're talking about, but it doesn't. Peace sells, but it doesn't. And I was like, oh yeah, there we go. I'm like, yeah, I agree with this song. I'm just like,
And yeah,
yep.
I think the story on Peace Sells, I think Dave was actually sitting down and he was just watching the news, and someone was saying, "Yeah, Peace Sells," but
it
and the whole
doesn't.
time he was hearing that, he was like, "But who's the buyer?"
Oh yeah, but who's the
And
buyer? That was it. Yeah.
and then when that happened, it's like, wait, that might be a song. So then he actually sits down and writes the lyrics to it.
It's just like, yeah, Peace sells, but who's buying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. They were
Yeah,
all pretty good.
it's
Yeah.
an absolute classic. Absolute classic.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
since I have Josh, have you actually heard the song that I posted, the Public Enemy #1? Because the reason why I brought it up, if you remember the song from the band that I want to do next, there is a guitar solo I would like for you to hear, because if you remember that orchestra song to where the guitarist just all of a sudden breaks out the electric, and it's like, dude, if you just stick to the goddamn acoustic, it would be fine. And I would actually love to hear like a guitar solo from Public Enemy #1, being that I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you remember, Josh, but yeah. I was kind of hoping that maybe you would listen to that. But anyway. Sorry.
Okay. Well, somehow miraculously, we're ending this podcast in under 2 hours. Somehow we've done it.
Is this a first?
It's not a first. Actually, I don't know if it's a first. I'll be honest.
I need to check if it's.
Yeah, as you check, we cross over the 2 hour mark, and then it's no longer.
There you go.
But it's definitely up there with the few we've actually hit the. We actually stopped at our 2 hour maximum. As opposed to every other one. The past 2 have been 3 hours?
Yeah, it's been 3 hours.
I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised this didn't go longer with the RB talk and the other talk about Mixer and that kind of stuff. I'm surprised. I'm very, very surprised. But yeah, I guess that'll do it. Liv, you have anything, closing remarks and such? Like, what are you up to?
If we're going to try and keep it under 2 hours, I'm going to be doing Persona 4 after the stream at some point. Don't know when. Taking a break.
Nice. And I will be doing stuff. Probably try and fit it. I almost said GTA RP. I wish. Red Dead RP at some point next. Not tomorrow, probably, because I've got family stuff going on tomorrow. Maybe Monday? I'm not sure. But I'm kind of like, I gotta figure out how to how to mix in doing RP and doing other streams. It's gonna be a juggling act, but we'll get through it together. Yeah. So if you haven't seen the up on my YouTube, I linked them in the announcements channel in the Discord to the 2 edited versions of my personal first time, and then the first time I streamed it, and then I don't know if I'll edit. I don't know if I'll edit anymore after those 2. Then there's this one, which I don't know if I'll edit or not. I'm gonna forget how to fight in Yakuza? Yeah, I already did. I forget when it's like the next day. But anyway, thank you very much everyone for watching. And we'll see you for specifically the podcast in 2 weeks on Liv's channel.
Yay!
Me and Liv will see you on respective days that we stream. Bye everyone.
Bye.